tickets to get out. The barriers haven't worked, so
You got fined, mate. I'm sorry.
We've got fined. We'll have to pay £200, but we're in anyway. Let's see how this one will unfold.
Wendansky is going to be searching for that opening shot, but his position is rendered useless because look at that aggression. Jacob, what are you doing? Shaney is just there saying, oh, cheers. Ticket inspector here, hand it on over, and he just gets completely wrecked from existence. Imperial, they gained nothing from that.
That's very true indeed. Awkward way to kick it off. Wendansky's low as well. 10 HP left on him as the push starts to run through. Ivy control completely run over. Boast of it. He's in a prime time position to try and do damage. Connecting the headshots, but he's only been able to find one. A little bit awkward. Connor's also going to fall over by Ebox. Gets overwhelmed. Shaney capitalizing, finally going to be able to take down the crippled Wendansky. Boaster from the backlines, hammering on that trigger. Needs to do so much more though, as the bomb has been planted and Reason is trapped by Connector.
Yeah, so much a reason to do here. Boaster just trying to pop off and make this round happen. Finds himself close to finding just another. Knocks Aussie low, but 9 HP doesn't equal a frag. Now a longer range affair for him still. Not quite connecting. Reason trying to be the supporting man. In this fight, Peakson out nearly close to facing up against Pickles. But no, he's just going to stand on the backlines too. Now trying to force the issue, trying to go aggressive. But it's just going to work out. They're waltzing into a crossfire. One will fall. Who's next in line? Well, Reason. He's your man. But also the man to potentially hit the deck. A 1 versus 3 here. Spamming away. Whips out the knife, gets himself one, but that is about it. And I've got to say, you remove Boaster from that lineup, Imperial, that was the worst UKCSGO pistol round I've ever seen. Yeah,
they got completely annihilated there. I mean, redeeming factor at the very least. Reason got a knife out of it, so you get some cash, but even then, the 3k in his bank won't redeem these next 2 rounds that Infused should be able to pick up very easily. Looks like they might actually go for a nade stack, possibly towards mid here. Just chuck those out, hope to transfer an awful lot of damage over onto the T's if they're going to go for a fast play towards that A bomb site. But it wasn't meant to be. They are going to be taking their aggression towards B.
Hopefully this is an avenue that works out, and of course you have to look towards the B, so I said for Imperial, they've been smart in their approach. They've gone, okay, let's not just stack up towards B for no real reason. Instead, they've just left one player there, frag grenade in hand. He's there to probe for information, get down that early spread damage, then the rest of the players will rotate in after to get the information, which is what we're seeing now, and they're the guys to actually try and find those tags with the pistols, actually try and basically whop them up and get themselves the frags themselves. So I like the setup for Imperial. I think this is actually better than their pistol, but whether it connects or not, well, it's almost clutching at straws that it is just P250s. No Kevlar even as well.
Yep, that's the thing. Didn't want to invest too heavily into the round. It was just those HEs that was their most expensive purchase, really. And they didn't get too much done, but let's see if the Ts are going to achieve too much as they burst their way through. Explosion out towards the bomb site. Nice angles being utilised by the CTs. Jacob with one frag towards Shaney, but Pickles quickly trading it back. Oh, it's going either way right now. Blows across the board. Everyone taking a hit as it falls into a 3 versus 3. Swiftly into the round. Make that a 3 versus 2 as Pickles gets taken down by Reason, but the execution starts to come back in. Shiki in the elevated angle will claim the first. Spray transfer onto the second. Wendansky dies, and Infused get their second round. But a lot of rebuys forced out. It wasn't a clean round at all.
Yeah, that was so much smarter from Imperial. They played off the back of that spread damage of the frag grenade. They utilised everything they had. And yeah, sometimes the round doesn't work out, but I prefer watching a team who try everything and still execute it to a T, and then even if it fails, they did their job. So that's much, much better. Now we kind of have to sit back at least and see them on just dry pistols. There really isn't a big avenue they can explore, but the rebuys are the talking point for Infused. They do have to spend a little bit more money.
Janey will find that first frag there. As Ozzy as well connection over on towards Jake and Boaster. Trying to reposition right now as he looks a little bit panicked as he wiggles his way through, but Dream will come in with a frag off on towards Connor. Reason also going to hit the deck, and it is just Boaster left. Sure, he's really been the only man on the side of Imperial that's actually found any frags throughout the game. Ideally, he's just popping heads, but they're not impact frags. They're just late round frags that don't really mean anything. So he's doing damage, but it won't account for too much.
Well, he's going to be searching for a little bit more. It does find himself a bit of a stray dink on towards Pickles, but yeah, as you say, it is just going to be a clean sweep for the most part. Infused, they get themselves 3-0 up on the scoreboard, and a nice little T-side start for them. But now the real big test, you get the AWP into the hands of JKM, a man that we were kind of hyping up as not being this big fragging guy. He's not quite fallen in terms of the way that you scream his name, but he's always there being the man to support with those picks, right? He's covering his teammates back quite a lot as well, which I think is a very underappreciated style of warping, especially for this team.
Yeah, that slower style of warping where you basically just play a lot more defensive. Obviously as well though, it's just because of how important the AWPs are on a map like Train anyway. You see T-side, you know it is until very effective standard. That double setup coming out might be the difference maker as the A play starts to unfold. Connor and Co reigning supreme those so far as they finally tempting frags, but the trade back starts to come in. Those AWPs, oh, repositioning could have caught him off guard, but luckily Jacob did scope back in, takes down Shiki, and it just falls on towards Pickles. Already 2 frags on the board into this round. Can he ace it?
Monumental ask, really, to try and put a word to it, but even that feels like a bit of an injustice at this point. Is Pickles going to begin to gain some traction down over on towards this A site, but has a pretty big voyage to make in terms of not only getting that bomb, but finding the picks to make sure that on that pathway he doesn't just get wrecked from behind by a quick flank coming from any one of these players on the Imperial lineup right now, especially of course with the AWP in play on both Jacob and Boaster now. So double up setup potentially in this next round for Imperial if they play their cards right, as the clock is going to begin to wind on down. 40 seconds or so. Pickles beginning to make some movement here, wants to try and peek around this corner, but has no real information. Gets the first initial face, but doesn't really lead to too much else. A couple of free fires here and there, does a bit more damage, but damage is not what he's searching for. 30 seconds now. Jackie, he's got to get a move on.
Yeah, he needs to do something now or never, and it seems like he will be backing off, grabbing that bomb, and trying his luck. Molotov goes out to try and ward off a CT push from Connector, buying a little bit more time to play it, but Jacob had the angle covered the entire time, was waiting for the moment to strike, sinks his teeth in, and eliminates the Pickles.
Perfect way for Imperial to kick off the show. They get themselves a lot of counterpoints when it comes down to the AWPs. It is nice to see a double upset as well this early into the game. I think this is yet again the kick in the teeth for Infused to say, you know what, we're here to play. We aren't just going to be walked on over, much like we even predicted, you could say. But we still have to sort of see if there's going to be any quick curveballs from Infused. I think they might just go quick and fast. They try and isolate them, cut them down before they even get going, and just find that quick reset. It can be very, very punishing. Of course, Ivy being an angle that is going to be faced, and a flash that's completely worthless does allow Jacob an opportunity to really try and run riot down this corridor. But for now, it's been bloodless. No action, just pacifism.
Yeah, just holding out. Jacob, scoped in, waiting, focusing on Ivy. As soon as Hank happens, he will just go for a shot. Does actually catch out the arm of Ozzy as well, so he's able to get that first frag on the board. Nice elimination to try and slow them down, because if they pick up this round as well, that's when things start to get a little bit awkward for Infused. They link it together, it makes their lives so much harder. But Cheeky hammering down on the trigger there, trying to get the connect on towards Pop Dog. It's going to be Connor trying to defend it dearly.
55 seconds now. Really starting to run out of time here in Fuse, because you kind of have to look at this map and go, okay, what have they actually done here in this round? Have they done anything at all? No, they haven't. They've just been picked off. Now they're getting picked off again by Boaster, who's just found another on towards Pickles. Kind of an odd T side for Infused right now. They've just not been able to really make an objective. They do try and kind of meander their way out on towards this B side, and fair play to them. They get themselves a double kill. They are going to search for a triple. That's going to be Connor as well, coming in from the flank, and that just seals the deal. It means there's no hope anymore of this continuing push. Dream is lurking from behind, but a 1 versus 3 is huge. But gets the initial frag on towards Jacob, but Boaster, yet again, in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, Boaster, elevated angle, makes his life so easy. Pulls the trigger, finds the frag. And the thing is, they had the potential for the reset, but instead, 2 rounds on the trot, you shut down Infuse's momentum. You leave them in this awkward situation now, back on the pistols.
Time being a pretty big thing for Infused. I think I don't want to see them just kind of hang around yet again, where they just hold angles. Instead, I want to see them begin to actually try and play off the back of angles that aren't expected from Imperial. Just pop out of nowhere, try and catch them with a stray P250 shot, a rapid Tech 9. Dream gonna live up to that hope. Darts on through a smoke, but unfortunately, just like many a dream, is shut them down quick as anything snatched away. Pickles does find one with an eagle, but where is this leading? Well, Pickles are second actually through the edge of that smoke on the one with Nansky, making it feel now a bit more possible, so perhaps a bit more reality in this one. The bomb is going to go down, a lovely little angle to be held from an AWP, but that doesn't lead to too much, as Shaney just going to hug ever so tightly now, really clasping onto this round. But this is a Glock we're talking about.
Reason goes for the push through. We'll find that opening fragment towards Shaney. Second guesses himself before he readjusts and also realizes Shiki was there. And then sprays the man down to lock themselves into a 3-3 situation now.
Exactly where they want to be. Imperial, you know what? Fair play. Prove us wrong. Because that's a really good start for them on their CT side. They are consistently having to deal with Infused, though, on these weapon-based rounds. I think you have to give it to Infused on the way they've handled their economy.
Yeah, it's been looking good. Obviously, the thing is as well, Infused right now, just with the aggression they're starting to bring to the table once they've got these weapons back, this could be the difference maker. They now sort of have a brief idea of how Imperial will play. Is this where they start to counter it? Jacob had the angle, want to try and connect into the armor boards. Ozzy just couldn't land the shot.
Still looking for that frag though, trying to really force his hand into an unfavorable fight. But Connor, he knows better than that. He's smarter than that. He's still doing work, still doing damage. Picks up a nice little double kill for him now. Has information on both a third and fourth. Names that a fifth as he faces towards Ivy. Claims the life of Dream, leaving just Shaney and Pickles now, who both are compromised. Connor playing for the ace when Dansky is going to pluck that one away from him. But huge performance nonetheless as an individual. Just to read them complete like a textbook. A kid, keen. Great individual from him. You can't knock that at all.
No, that was very well done. Flawlessly executed there throughout that. And they pick it up. A nice round to do so. What you wanted to bring to the table, ideally. And this is the thing. They're now starting to find their footing. They're starting to set themselves in stone as knocking us out. And this is the thing as well. Infused at this point with these Deagles in play, not in a great situation. If they can start to work their way through and actually pick them off, then Imperial might actually have a very good CT half. And they need it. It's getting hard as obviously, even with these pistols in their hands, Infused, they're still trying to find openers.
Connor. Trying to take it again. Just another engagement against these pistols. Starting to try and cut through the wheaten chaff here. Finds himself just another on towards Ozzy as well. When Dansky going to find himself a penetrating shot on towards Shaney. And bit by bit, reality starts to set in yet again for Shiki. He's going to find himself one, but he knows full well he's got 3 Bloodhounds all hunting for the same thing, an evening meal that he is just pitch perfect for.
Yeah, as they are able to work their way through that very swiftly. The buy will come back in once again. Now, Infused, though, when they've had these rifles out in the past, we've just seen the same old story. It just seems like they're starting to smash their heads off the wall already at this point. Not really what we want to see. They need to try and get themselves a bit more of a buffer to play with on that T half. We know they can excel once they find their way on the CT half, but prove that to us now. Shiki, AWP in hands, will be taking the aggression. Can he take down Jacob though? The tag, not quite the frag. Jacob allowed to reposition and back off. He still has control of Ivy, but can he maintain it?
Jacob finds the first shot, looks for a second. Meanwhile, we're going to see pop-up held rather acutely too by Connor. Yet again, the man of the hour. Double kill opened up, though. Shane and Ozzy both combining. Shiki, the supporting actor yet again in this lineup right now, leaving us in a 2 versus 3. 1 minute 50 on the clock. So much time for Infused to work with. This isn't some wacky 1v3 with 12 seconds left. They can generally try and play for this. Bear in mind, Connor, just 11 HP. A lot of these angles, they know where they're playing. Shiki actually going to spot out Connor as well. Now they know Electric is a position to be wary of. This isn't too bad for Infused at all.
No, a lot of potential left into this round, but when they pull it through, Shiki, when they approach towards the bomb site, needs to spot out the man in reason, but he isn't going to be able to clear towards Connector. He gets tagged down. Ozzy is aware of the player playing over by E-Box, though, and he drops straight into the opening arms of Reason. Finds the frag. Connor can trade back. Ozzy, he's made his approach towards the big bomb site, though. He got that Connector control. Can go for the plant there as well. Sure, he's left in a 1 versus 2, but if he can create 2 1 versus 1 tier, if he gets this frag off on towards Boaster, this is easily a round that he can defend and win.
Bomb is going to begin to really start to tick now. Keep talking, and it won't explode. Certainly an idea they can hope for, but Boaster is going to do the work with it. He finds himself in that return frag. It's 2 players playing together against 1, and it bears reward. He's going to find the defuse, and it's just another round in the arsenal of this CT side now. They're really starting to build things up, and this is great for them. You look at a map like Train and go, okay, CT side, you expect this sort of scoreline, but then when you analyze the play that Infused are kind of running towards, you're asking the question of, well, where does this elevate to? Where's the direction we're going towards? Are we looking at 11-4 here? Are we looking at something that dastardly, or are we going to finally see some level of hope from a T-side round of Infused?
It's true. Are they going to be able to pull something out the bag? You do wonder. Shiki will go for the smoke over towards the A bomb site. Potentially this will be a pincer play through Pop Dog out on towards A as the smoke starts to come through. Where it's just a little bit of a ruse as they make their approach towards that B site. Trying to pump the seeded out in the minds of the Imperial players. If they can draw a rotate over, hoping that would be the case, but they hold their ground firm. Boaster focusing towards upper with the AWP in hand. Reason going to be smoking in deep as well to try and thwart off the push that could potentially be getting ready to unfold.
Ramp of presence is garnered well and truly, but no information for Reason. He's just going to have his work cut out for him. Look at Shakir, actually spots out one rifle, falls on back, and gets away untraded. This is mental from him now, as Pickles is going to lead the charge, non-valiantly as well on towards Reason, and this is just disastrous. Imperial, where are you at now? Infused, this was the hope we wanted to see. This is where we know full well that this half is still competitive. It's not all over.
True, as they still have so much fight left in them. Into this one though, just Jacob left in a 1 versus 3. The only call that can be made is to back off, scurry out of there with your tail between your legs and hold on to that AWP into the following round. Infused. Second wind has returned. Scary factor looming over their heads, obviously, though, is if Imperial get that momentum back and lock them down instantly, how are they going to fare?
Certainly is a very interesting talking point, actually, I guess, in terms of when you look at Imperial and go, okay, they've hit one loss. We saw some fun little AWP action, but it was a loss nonetheless. We have to kind of look into the future now and go, okay, how are they going to adapt to this? What are they going to play? Because I don't know if Imperial have so much stacked up on their CT side. Of course, you kind of gander towards their economy and go, you know what, they're not actually pretty healthy on their core 3 players. They do have Reason and Boaster to be the guys to bankroll them. But in terms of what they can individually buy, it is a bit rough, right? That utility is going to be pretty sparsely spread. So, interesting questions, and in terms of strategy, Imperial are opting for the kind of the same old, same old. They've got the same setup heading over on towards A, the 2 close players towards Bomb Train, who both will advance up towards Electric. Do have a bit more presence towards B, which I kind of like. Boaster making sure he gets those nades down extra early to cut off any Infused presence in terms of darting through their smoke. So at least some level of adaptation coming in from the CT side early on.
Slow stuff right now. They just get themselves ready. Once again, building up the confidence this B site execute. In the past, they have been able to sneak out, sure. But can they actually close it down once again? Will this be where they can link these rounds together? You have to wonder. Boaster focusing so heavily towards upper. This man can be an absolute beast when it comes to his rifling skills. The timing is off for him. Molotov goes down, and he knew he needed to try and walk them off. Unfortunately, caught off guard there. Frag will come through off the back of Dream. He gets punished, but Reason is doing all of the work. Finding 2 frags already. Hungry for more. Jacob now arriving on the scene to cause a stir. If he can connect these shots, and with the backstab coming in from Connor, this could be deadly.
Jacob employees in action. A Viper ready to sink into his opposition. That Venom certainly aiming to spread, but you've got to deal with Shane. He's the predator that you didn't even expect. Now Reason and Connor both combined there to pick up a smooth little double kill for the team, leaving just Shiki to stab in front of the backlines. But he's found not only one, but positional advantage on the second. But Jacob, with the AWP, catches him back in return. And it's going to be a long but ever so succulent defuse for the CT side. They've just found that reset.
Nicely done there, coming in very, very well. And this is the thing, off the back of that, you're going to reset things. Make life so much harder for Infused. They do actually have formidable amounts of cash to play with. They can shuffle it around a little bit better than what I expected. So it will work out for them. They can readjust things to get themselves in a good spot. But it's still going to be a hard fight back into this, as a couple of players are restricted in terms of utility. There can't be any flamboyant sight takes into this one.
Yeah, it's that kind of scenario. It's not quite the immediate reset in terms of affecting them in this 12th round, but you're not looking at the 12th round now, you're looking at the 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's so dangerous for Infused, so risky, that this is very all or nothing. They are standing at a blackjack table with all their dollars, all 23,000 of it or so invested into this round, laid bare. Is it going to be lucky number 16? Or are they going to hit on that black 22? Waiting for now for them to at least try and make a play, though. It's going to be a pretty mixed bar. You can't knock the ADP of Shaney either. It's still very strong for them. They're able to get that into play.
Definitely what you want to try and get out there. Shaney is so key at finding these openers. Taking these picks towards mid-main. If he has confidence, he could be shutting down Jacob. He could be getting the leaks they need to actually slip out towards the A-bomb site. But it just seems like Shaney right now kind of playing a little bit restricted. Not the sort of style of CS we need to see from them. Infused, just have that level of firepower behind you.
Push begins. Pickles going to try and find one, trying to really tone this fight with 10-foot Dream. One with a pistol. Aussie responds with the AK-47, longer range as well with an SMG. Aussie combining another one for this T-side. Jacob now, the last man standing, has to hop with an AWP, has to channel his Funo, is looking for a no-scope eventually, but it doesn't quite happen. Cheeky will secure the frag with the AK-47, hammers this one home. And this is a reversal that no one predicted, no one expected. Imperial, where's their money at? They've just been bankrupted.
Yeah, they have been absolutely obliterated into that one. Quick trade back from Infused, fantastically done. What we needed to see executed as well. This is the thing, they can propel themselves forward now. Possibly just try and bounce ahead to get themselves at least to a equalised scoreline. Get yourselves back on that 7-7. Meanwhile, Imperial, stuck with these measly pistols, looking a little bit frustrated. See what they can actually achieve in this fluster of a round.
So much for them to try, but so little for them to try and swivel into something that's actually meritable, something positive that you kind of look at and go, you know what, that was pretty sweet. Jacob tries to go for a bit of a walk on forwards, but you know what? Don't go alone. Take this with you. Well, he had no friends, had no hope, and instead he was just quickly punished.
Gets beaten there, receives the full might of the belt to the back of the head. Boast up, frag will come through on towards Dream. Oh, struggling, will be burnt to a crisp. He's going to need a skin graft after that one, as it falls now into a 4 versus 3.
Worse and worse by the second, but gotta give credit to the pistols. They're still able to do just that little bit of extra damage, but the rifles will always be able to cement themselves, sticking it dead to the man, almost you could say. His reason is going to at least find himself the opening tap back on towards Ozzy, but surely not. Surely this is a done and dusted deal, as he does lurch around the site, but Pickles, the longer range affair yet again, with the good old Kalashnikov. There's enough to whip down that fight, get themselves victory, and ensure that Infused start to rebuild back together, repair this scoreline. But you got to give it to Imperial as well. You can't forget that their economy is now back in shape. It's 7-6. They can still compete for a half win, which on their CT side they're not going to complain about. But on the flip side, 6 rounds Seaside Train, shaky stuff.
Yep, it is looking a little bit awkward. This is the thing. This game's been so back and forward.
Connor toying with that aggression now in towards Ivy. Dream is close, holding the angle, so almost certainly knows. It's very, very predictable as well for that to be kind of checked every single time, I'd say. A hopping affair for Jacob. How many times has he been caught trying to make that work? Unfortunately for him, there's not really too much he can do. It's just this he's being so quick, so aggressive. As Shiki gonna find one on towards Reason. Connor's still waiting. Does get his frag in the end of things, but did that really change too much? Well, it didn't actually affect the site at all, but gave them at least one portion of the map to not really worry about and allow them a bit of a crevice to retake from, but Aussie is pretty much going to shut this one down.
Elevated angle, hammering down from above, finds one, but it's going to be Shiki and Shaney, the combo, to pick off the final 2 members. Now, 7-7 has been secured. Once again, you reset them, leaving an awkward situation. You should be winning the half here. 8-7, and then coming in strong with a CT half, you'd imagine, if they can ride on that hype train and lock down the pistol.
Just the sheer importance of winning the half on your T-side train really is so good for infusing the momentum, right? We talked about kind of the historics of the train, the way you usually see it structured towards that CT side. It really kind of paints a very almost tumultuous picture now where you have to look towards Imperial and say, you got to up your game. You got to hope that they have a good T-side at least, a bare minimum. Pistols, though, are going to look for that close fight at least. Pickles, he's going to be there with the AK to wait and see if Jacob does rear his head, and so he shall, and that's a frag for him. So have to really tick away the tally, just mark it down one by one by one. As eventually, it will be Imperial stuck in a bit of an odd situation, but they do have something that's positive, a little bit of hope they can stand behind. That's Kevlar.
True. They have that armor player, but let's see how it's going to work. Oh, gliding through the air is Boaster there, trying to swim upstream. And unfortunately, he gets torn out of the water by the bear that is Shiki. Now, 3 men remaining already. 5-7 PT50. And a scout. It's going to be awkward as they try and defend from the overpowered arsenal that is in the hands of Infused. Shaney with the opener. Wind down speed, close angle. Could be effective if played right, but he's not even going to get a chance. The 2 frags come in at an instant. Infused win the half. Are they ready to bring the hype into the second half, though?
Certainly is a question itself, and I think this pistol round is going to be ever so important. Just imagine a reality for a second, Jackie, where Infused take this. Where does that pit us towards now? Because I look at that and go, okay, that already sends them up into more than likely 10, maybe 11 rounds. In comparison to 7, we are starting to look at already a very odd situation for Imperial to worm their way out of, especially on that T side, as we mentioned.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well, right? Looking at that, if Infused go through to actually get the 2-0 on this series, that's going to really put them in a good spot on the league table, because after last night's win against Endpoint 2-0, they're going to be in a good situation and start to get some points.
They're going to be happy as anything, but for now they have to shut this one down. They have to get themselves that victory. And a pistol round, well, we described that as a crucial ingredient. So far, so good. They get a peek towards B. They go, okay, boys, we know they've got some presence there. Now the question is not what if, but how much. Connor try and lead the charge with the pistol. Fires off a few block shots here and there, and it connects itself to one. Makes that a double kill for him as he claims the life of Aussie, but where's the response? Pickles, long range USP, come on, you should be able to tap away at this. But no, Reason strikes even further down. A bomb as well has been planted. Imperial, a very realistic shot at taking this round. Dream, just 4 HP as Shiki falls.
There's the frag coming through from both. Start off on towards Dream. Quickly does it, as he will eliminate him. The team Infused, unfortunately, looking a little bit sour after that one. Whereas Imperial doing what they needed to do. The buyers will come through as well. And this is good for them. They can actually start to get some rounds on the board, get some presence once again, and they need to do so. If they have a flawless T-half here and close this out, be a great way to at least get the draw off the back of this. But Dream, you can see, trying to capitalize early with the Eagle, will go for the push through. Boaster and Co have already used down towards the A-bomb set though, and they're doing the damage.
Frag grenade to go wide on over as well. That's going to dunk on towards Pickle. Kobe would be proud about that one. Jacob gonna make some money off of Shane as he just farms away the dollar bills. Leaving just Aussie to kind of go, boys, come on. I wanted to do some funky stuff with the Deagle, but he just left me here in a 1 versus 4. Seriously? Tough stuff. Either way, though, just a waiting game at this point to see, okay, when will Infused get themselves back into play? Are they going to get themselves back into play? It's not just something that's expected, something that's known. It's an unknown variable at this point. So you run to the flip side of Imperial and say, you know what, this is your time to really try and play with the lead that you've been able to garner. Already charging out on towards his A-side. Boaster going to connect that opening headshot. Windansky, a second for him. We do see close range affairs coming in from Pickles, but even that's a bit of a tough one because it's just a quick trade. And trades, every single time, will go to the Imperial court.
True, with just Dream last now in this awkward situation. You can see him trying to hammer down Flakes, just trying to put whatever he can left into that last bit of the round, but really, he's not going to be able to do anything. And Imperial go through. They get the rounds that they should have been able to achieve for free. This is where the real game starts to begin again, though. Round 19, 10-8 is the scoreline. Let's see if Infused now with cash back in the blank, if they can actually try and achieve something.
Shaney already holding a pretty dead set angle, trying to see, okay, can I get an aggressive pick here? Can I strike into this round? But no, the only aggression is coming out from Imperials. So quick to get themselves into the B halls, so quick to pop off Molotov and use their flashes. So very, very obvious to the CT side to know what's going on. Surely this should lead towards some B aggression. But this is where Imperial are playing even smarter, right? They've gone, okay, this is just a default for us. So we can use those nades, we can try and bait Infused into a lovable sense of security. But we've got something different planned all along.
Cheeky repositioning through Reason as well here. Just holding these angles, you can see a bit of a stalemate across the board. They know they have guns over on that Infused side now, and they don't want to run the risk of allowing anything to slip away, ideally, if they can help it. The Molotov starts to come through. Going for these pot shots. Hoping Infused will make the first mistake, but they're playing it smart.
Smart and concise, exactly how we want to see it. Smoke is going to be lined up. Make that 2 smokes as well, so all in all, pretty strengthy execute coming out over on towards this B site is acting as a perfect wall, a diagonal line from that ramp entry point over on towards that oil train. But just hold on for a second. This ain't no B push. We talked about the end goal here. It's something the Imperial shrouded in doubt and mystery. It has so much reward to it. Jacob finding that first pick on towards Cheeky really is just a cherry on top.
As the damage is being dealt all over the place. The frags actually start to come in. Massive round so far for Infused, and they pick it up. Shaney found the final frag on towards Reason. Oh my god, as if they've been able to pick that one up. Well done. Obviously Imperial though, they're not going to be able to buy. They have the cash, they can distribute it around, get those buys back through. They've got the sustain. They can stay alive and keep battering on the shield, but it just depends. How long can Infused actually ward them off for before it cracks?
Well, that's the thing. It always cracks eventually. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of what round will it be, how close to the end, and how important it'll be to their economics, bear in mind. Because Counter-Strike really is a game where money is everything to these teams. For now, at least, both are on equal footing. The AWP still trying to find and force those early frags, but we've started to see improvement, I think, for Imperial in terms of disallowing that, which is a big part of why they've been able to do so much.
It's true. It has been the difference maker. Now, once again, just a slow style of CS with the late round executes. They have that utility to complement it though. They are allowed to try and go for this. It just depends if they can actually land their shots this time. Infused before just looks a little bit crisp.
Certainly is a positive situation, but still waiting. 55 seconds now. Imperial gonna at least position themselves to build up towards what is certainly shaping up to be an A split. I want to make sure that when Dansky covers off pop though, we want to see someone just pop up there and act as almost a bit of a quick flank, swings out towards Electric, can deal with that close player. Dream, of course, as well, is going to be very, very strong towards Ivy, because we've got the core 3 of this push. Basically, the real firepower of this push towards A coming from Ivy. That crossfire could be disastrous. Push begins. Boaster finds one.
Dream Hold the angle, rattling the smoke trying to get the shot. Will find one there back on towards Boaster. Oh, unfortunately for Pickles, as he tried to make his approach towards Pop Dog, was hit from the sideline. Railed down by Reason. Dream again, another frag on the board, looking good as he executes Jacob.
So many times now we've seen something build up, some positive light, and then it get completely crushed by the gauntlet of Infused. A 1-for-1 trade, leaving us at a 2 versus 2, but there's all but no time. Infused, they make it work again. They just turn Imperial into a bit of a lackluster apple pie at this point. We've seen, what, 3 rounds in a row now, where Imperial have had themselves structured with a fake, or just a smart setup, and Infused have just gone, yeah, we're just going to find the frags as you charge on through, though. We're just going to outflash you, outposition you. They can adapt just quicker.
It's true, they're just a little bit too hot to handle. But Infused cannot get a grip on them, and it's been coming back to bite them. But into this, let's see if this is how that one will unfold once again. Obviously, restricted by, not too fantastic to work with. Infused going for the confidence play as well, pushing themselves out, gaining map control. This could be the difference maker if they can land their shots though.
Couple of shots here and there are beginning to be rallied off, but no volley coming back in return. Jacob gonna find himself one with a pistol, but there is Dream combines for that inevitable trade. Cheeky gonna fall back, realizes now that if anything's gonna happen toward Divey, it's gonna be a quick charge, a quick push with pistols, so doesn't want to quite be the greeting party for that. So I like the adaptation for the CT side here, making sure that they don't just get completely caught off guard.
Elevated angle there being from Dream. We'll find one towards Windansky, just hammering back, trying to find more, but he's forced to reposition. He will get the frag though, and the Thamuses actually are doing so much work. Shiki as well, connection over towards Boaster. They pick it up.
Infused now, they broke back as well. We've kind of almost just brushed aside a very important point here, which is the score, and has swiveled back around again. We saw Imperial take a bit of a lead for a short amount of time, a quick tenure. But now, that tenure, it came to an end. It's 11-10. Infused, they're starting to feel like they're the ones on top. They've stolen back that crown. For Imperial, they're starting to run out of chances here as well. This has gone ever so close. Bear in mind, they've got a Tech 9. They do have 4 core rifles, which is a strong situation in itself, but every round makes all the difference now.
Pickle hammering on the trigger. We'll find that frag though off on towards Windansky. Doubles it up as well. He gets the follow-up frag on towards Connor. The push is coming in. The Tech 9 starting to range supreme. Somehow the T's take the lead again. They get their firm grasp over Team Infused as they start to do damage. And it's just Shaney and Ozzy left to try and clutch this one out.
1 minute or so on the clock. A clutch that's not completely impossible, but a big ask nonetheless, as Shaney going to clear out those angles with the AWP, beginning to really try and get an idea of what's going on, just try and learn, okay, how do we slay this dragon? What sort of box can we push it inside of? Well, it needs to be a bloody big one, as at this point that A site is wide open. So many angles of Imperial have been dealt with, or they were even playing. So how do the CT side approach this? They're coming out of connector. It's going to be a few flashes, a bit of Molotov action here and there, but that doesn't really change too much. The secondary flash certainly will aid, but the rifles, they got to go fast.
They have indeed, as they push their way through. Boaster connection off on towards Ozzy there, and it's just Shaney left now. Whiff, and unfortunately for him, caught between a rock and a hard place. They're just going to hammer their triggers down into him, and they get that round. They can buy up again. No, they can't. They don't really have too much money. They could try and go for something if they want to, but ideally just going to go for a bit of a save in this round, let it over with, come back in firm with the next one.
Imperial now keeping it close and competitive, right on the tip of our toes almost. We stand here just watching, obeying the idea. The Imperial have still have a shot in this matchup. They've got dominance in this round too. We've kind of already covered the economics, but just firepower in itself as well really sways out of control to the left yellow side as Jacob, a one-man army with an AWP, opens it up with a quick flick for him. Looks for a second now in return as well, just still holding Bear on towards connector as he mauls apart his opposition. Shaney finally picks up one with a deagle, but that's still such a big ask from these pistols to secure that frag. Shaky gonna try and come in from Pop Dog, but climbs the ladder. That's effectively his stairway to heaven.
Connor as well with the connection over towards Shaney. They're not going to be able to drop Dream though. Pickle's also going to go down. And Imperial, they are just linking rounds together constantly now. Very formidable. Buy should be coming through for Infused once again though, and ideally this is where it has to be now or never. They need to start to lock it out.
Problem is, as you talk about that buy, but it's that same scenario we found ourselves caught on our tongues off just rounds and rounds ago, where they've opted for, okay, we've got $3,000 on a few of our players, we don't want to buy it, we want to save for something that could be a double up setup in the future. So this is incredibly risky for Infused now. They've gone in with some upgrades here and there, some pistols, some scouts, but Jacob is already just running all over them, takes down Sheiky. That's a big loss.
They are revving their engines towards that push forward to B bomb site. Aussie goes for the push up. Pop Dog has the potential of actually doing some damage here, but it's not really going to go that way.
Patience from these pistols. They don't want to push. They don't want to try and just walk dead set into the crosshair of Imperial, who are almost certainly just pitching their tents, waiting for the inevitable. With a minute on the clock, still so much for the CT side to play with. It's going to be some junk scat action coming from Shaney, which, in fair play to him, he's finding the tags, but he needs a little bit more. These Deagles have to start connecting. They have to start playing towards this one. Pickle's going to be doing the work. Aussie just another one towards Reason. Aussie a double kill as he takes down Boaster, leaving just Jacob now to do the work. Running Riot with a tech lane in the back line here, finds himself the headshot back on towards Pickles, but he's got to back off. He's got to withdraw, but he has 40 seconds to play with.
He's going to get the hell out of there. 35 seconds left on the clock as he makes his approach towards the A bomb site now. Orb in hand has the bomb as well. And he will brush over. Hammers down. Punches those numbers in as fast as his fingers can go. And now just needs to stay alive. Potential. If he can create these 1v1 fights, get these opening frags, then there's definitely a chance. Here's the one man sprinting over by Connector. If they play together, surely Infused should win this.
Certainly look towards that. Jacob can hold tight though, finds himself the drive-by headshot, now looking for a quick second. Hasn't he even choose to whip it out, but no, he relies on the Tech 9 and Shaney takes him down, slays him with just a USP. The barrel right on the very end of it is enough to really just knock him down of Peg. Shaney making it stick for his team, and that's a huge round for him now. Triple kill for him in the round as well, in terms of the impact. But just the scoreline speaks 1,000 words. 12-12. It couldn't be saved because that was very risky for Infused. They were saving there for the most part, so they were risking a very disparaging scoreline. But instead, fair play to them. They come out on top.
Yeah, that was a good round. Looked like Jacob potentially would have been able to pick it up towards the end there in the clutch, but was not meant to go in his favour. Now Infused, back with an equalised scoreline. Not going to be giving up anytime soon. This is going towards the bitter end. 5 rounds, Marine. Will be able to close this game out, or is there overtime potential on the line? Let's wait and see. Cheeky early aggression through, tags off on towards Reason, will find the kill. They get the opener, and there's no immediate trade either.
Already a one-man advantage for them to try and toy with a puppet master in play. Links almost perfectly to the start of Infused right now. They're just going to try and put a few strings here and there, see who they can direct right into their trap. As they lie and wait, they go, okay, who wants to strike first? Who wants to give us that opportunity to really secure this now? Is Shaney just too quick for Jacob to handle?
Dansky's come around the flank as he works his way through, grabbing the bomb, trying to reposition. Can back off to his teammates. No one went overly aggressive towards mid-main, so they haven't spotted out the bomb. Just going to go for the information fakes as well, trying to get something out to help out his teammates as the approach on Boaster goes through Ivy. He's in that back line. Doesn't clear it fully, and Dream spots him out.
Decimation almost finally. Connor picks up the first frag. Imperial in this round. Pops off now for a hope of a second. But Pickles is just too strong for him. Makes it stick for his team. And at this point, the City side really looking ever so strong. Yet again, 13-12 now. They double up on those odds. And the problem here for Imperial is just take a gander at their economy. It's the same old repetitive saying. And they've realised something's wrong with this. They know that this picture is just too risky for them. They buy up a rifle on Windansky. Keep some Tech 9s in play.
That one AK. Yeah, it's going to be a risk factor. Let's see if they're able to overpower Infused. If Infused are going to be able to get their 14th round on the board. Obviously, you'd imagine they're going to start to dominate here as the push does come down. Aussie, frag off on towards Windansky. They're hungry for more. Tagging back. Doing a bit of work. Can't quite get a follow-up kill just yet. Struggling. But he's done so much damage. That nade should be so powerful. The damage transfer, but no kills.
The damage though almost certainly going to be enough at this point as Ozzy still pushing, still charging, and still finding the frag stream as well now. Finally swings on through, just plays a tune to his AK-47. And that's himself just another song that leads to victory at this point because it's the same old bloodbath scenario. Infused 14-12. A crazy AK buy does nothing to aid Imperial bar a bomb plant, which in fairness to them gives them the money to play with in this 27th round. But at 14-12, they're back standing at that same old table, all in yet again.
This is where it gets scary. They could start to close the game out here. You get that match point down, you're looking good, you're feeling fierce. Jacob has other ideas, all in hand. Very aggressive peek through Pop Dog. Fantastic opener on towards Shiki there to stabilize these things from Fuse already.
Confidence. It's saving Imperial. It just kind of brings up the question of where was that a few rounds ago? It's almost that feeling of when you feel like you've already lost, when you feel like it's all but gone, you make a play that this might go wrong. But when he goes for it, it actually leads to success. We want to see more of that risk factor, more of that flair, because that's when we like what we see from Imperial. So far, a one-man advantage. Dream, got to try and force the issue back, goes for a very longer face duel, and Jakem, he's still there with the AWP, finding the most important picks.
Claiming that kill. Now just 3 members left remaining. Holding these angles, sure, there is potential. It's not over yet. It's going to be a hard fight. Pickles has to go so big here. If he can get this 2 kills on the board, leaving them in an equal situation, there's potential. Pickles coming with a trade down, 2 kills! Fantastic work, but unfortunately, Jacob gets a quick trade back. Connor as well towards Ozzy, leaving it just on Shaney. It's gone very south now.
Just enough damage though on the drive-by. Potentially be able to pull this one off. It's a big ask, but long range with a CZ, not the weapon he was hoping for. We always bank towards the idea of just whipping out that AWP, but instead, no. Long range duel will punish him. Imperial, off the back of Jakem, it has to be said, the man that we kind of really started to build towards with the AWP, well, he changed styles, he goes aggressive, and he still proves that he can make it work. 13-14, Imperial still swinging, still trading those blows, but it's a question of stamina.
It's true. Nades are going to start to roll their way through though. Connor has the elevated angle down. Fantastic frag off onto Cheeky early. Follow up as well. Connor goes huge for his side. Pickles on the aggression will get 1, but things are as good as done already. As Jacob with a connect up on towards Dream just leaves Ozzy left in 1 versus 3. Already equalized for 1 versus 2. Hungry for more frags. He is doing damage, but has to do so much more.
Tries to get the elevated angle now, trying to play toward an advantage. These players, they're splitting apart, but it's good for them because the way they split apart is actually just making sure that Ozzy has no chance to even remotely face them, as now they will regroup over on towards his B side. And Ozzy, instead of trying to face angles that could have favoured him, instead of being granted 1 versus 1s, now has to retake. But in fairness to the guy, he's got a kit, he's got everything he needs in terms of utility. This is not impossible, this is doable, providing that he gets those opportunities presented to him. Ozzy, beginning his journey. Jumping around the place, just trying to hop around that bomb. It's going to keep on ticking, clearing out the angles, drops the smoke as well, just toggles the defuse, now trying to bait the peak. But Connor, he plays smart, he waits. And the minute he defuses that, is the minute they strike.
Now, 14-14. No real money to play over on the side of Infused. Absolutely broken. Seems like they will try and squeeze out what they can. Still leave enough money into the following rounds where they need to try and win it out. Imperial, potential to take this series to a 1-1 scoreline. Pick up this round, have that momentum into the following one, and lock things down 16-14. It's all ifs and buts at this point. Let's see how it will unfold.
Smoke is going to try and find its way down, acting as a bit of a covering line for the forward infantry, should we say, that are these pistols. Are trying to go very close and personal, just hiding almost right in the loins of Hot Dog. Wendansky, if he pushes that, almost certainly get a fall, but not without a bit of a fight here and there, potentially a frag on the way. But for Imperial, they have a very strong shot here at getting themselves that 15th point, getting themselves that opportunity to really try and play for that draw.
It's true. Potential is there for them to try and secure this draw. You can see the terror as they hold back. They don't want to go aggressive. Infused know how much this means, and they need to just lock down these angles, hold these close angles, utilize these pistols where they're going to be efficient.
35 seconds or so. It's about to roll on around Shiki. He's close. He's personal, but he's tradable. And that's such a big point here. The push begins. He doesn't even find one. The Deagle will at least pop off, and that picks up one in the process. But a quick drop down towards Pop Dog really just annihilates their numbers. Infused, they were hoping for a little bit more than this, but instead they've left Aussie in a 1 versus 4 that just isn't going to happen. Imperial, 15-14. Here we go, our final round. We've got the full 30, the full hog. But Infused, they do have money to spare in this round. Thankfully, they have enough to at least try and squeeze out. It's not, a terrible buy. They will have a weaker player. But a core 4, strong utility, better rifles. They're going to be okay with this.
That's the thing, only 4 weapons actually in the hands of the Team Infused players. Aussie, of all men, only has a pistol. Well, 5.7, definitely a weapon he is very effective with, but up against these rifles, the range advantage of Imperial, this is going to be scary. This will be such a slow round, as they do not want to run the risk of losing this.
It's all or nothing yet again. Can't think of how many times we even run parallel to that storyline, how a narrative that just keeps on giving. It just doesn't quite stop. We find ourselves stuck, pointing blatantly in between two teams playing a waiting game at this point. As Infused, they know full well that if they go aggressive here, they have a high chance of just dropping out for the sheer price of rifles, but Imperial, they play the flip side of that. They don't want to go aggressive for the risk of mistake. But both of these teams, both on edge, both playing for their own advantage. The question is, which way is it going to swing?
That's a good question. One which we're waiting, anticipating to find the answer for on the edge of our seats here as time starts to tick away.
"35 seconds or so now. Aussie toying with the idea of peeking. You can see Infused almost getting a little bit antsy in their approach. They're going, okay, what's going on? Why have they not faced us? Why have they not pushed into us? And it makes them concerned. Aussie does find the long-range duel, though, up against Jacob. That works out for him, converts into a bit of a medium-range scenario. Shiki going to spray down as well. Bosta, Wendansky both secure the trade, leaving us in a 3 versus 3. A double-up setup now for Infused. Bosta ready to pop off here. Smoke's going to go down, covering that site. This gives them that bomb plant. But Pickles, he's securing the trade.
Now left in the 2 versus 2. This is absolutely huge. They have to potentially take it into overtime right now. Aussie connection off on towards Reason, just leaving Wendansky in a 1 versus 2. Wendansky in the past has been the clutch man, the one that's closed out these awkward situations, but can he do it?
Waiting to get an idea of where these players are playing towards. Here's those steps. Realizes this is such a crucial one, but they face together. It should be smart. Unfortunately, can't quite land the shots. We are going to overtime in this second map so far. Imperial, Infused, both fighting tooth and nail to get us to this point. And we still do not have ourselves a victor.
Yep, definitely a very close matchup right now on train, as they are going to be able to take it in towards overtime. Who knows what might happen now, how this one will go. Obviously, there's no more pistol rounds in play. They have so much money to play with. It's going to be that all-out aggression. Let's see how it will actually come into effect. No double-up setup being utilised by the CPs.
We're looking almost for the idea of a master strategy with amongst these teams. Who can play better? Who can set themselves up in the right way? The right counterpoint to their opposition? Very open-ended question. I'm fully aware of that. But it's going to answer itself, and that's the beauty of it. There's already this first round of overtime beginning to really roll into something now. It's an early default from Imperial. They're going to go, okay, how are Infused approaching this? Are they going straight balls all aggressive with double AWP setups? They go anything fancy? 5 rifles, perhaps? This is all about them getting a read, getting a feel for their newly found opposition.
Let's wait and see. Obviously, Dream elevated angle once again, hoping to find out that frag. Reason and Co are going to be setting themselves up as they go for this late round explosion onto the site. It's a very slow style of CS that has been donned by both teams.
Certainly a hat they're happy to wear, but are they multi-talented? Can they switch it up when the time comes? Some players can, some they crumble under the pressure. Well, which one are we going to witness so far? Connacht going to fire off a few shots, but this is where Aussie strikes into action. Aussie doing what he does best, playing reactive. Pickles holding an angle, covering off Pop Dog, finds one, but nice little trade from Wendansky, but the securing position being held a dream. It's just another now as Shaney picks him off with the AWP, another one towards Boaster, and bit by bit the forces of Imperial are getting plucked back now, they're getting pushed back now, and everything is going their way. Infused, the first round in OT on the board. A very decisive one too.
Massively played there as they worked their way through. You need to try and lock that down, obviously, on this overtime half. Get yourself a good little setup early into it. If they can work their way through, have a flawless CT half here, there is potential for Infused to actually, off the back of that second win, try and close out the game.
That flock that got pushed back in the previous round has to assemble itself, has to regroup. But all is not looking good. Aussie starting with a double kill. Looking out for a triple, and he is just being gifted it. As Wendansky just lets it happen, tries to respond. Reason now, perhaps the final man to step up to the plate. Boaster gonna fall towards the A site. Reason just gonna present himself up through the smoke. A dish ready to be served. Shiki is just there saying, you know what, why? Why even try? Team Infused, 5 men standing, 5 frags.
Now, there is potential. It's looking like they might actually achieve it. Those 18 rounds on the board, lock it down, get yourself a flawless half, work your way through. If they get that first half, that first round into the following half, they can close this game out, and that would be unthinkable, seeing as how slow and how much of a slog it was for them to take this game into OT in the end.
It's a very odd round as well coming out from Imperial. They're just going so aggressive, getting caught off guard time and time again. They get themselves the first frag in this round, but not without being traded back. But this time they're in control. Wendansky is going to be doing the work. A quick flick from Shaney though as he finds it back in return. But look at Boaster yet again, picks up a double kill in this round. As Aussie taps on through, claims the life of Wendansky, has an opportunity to find himself a second or a third, but he's at a clutch here. 6 HP on one. It's the spray, but the spray is not quite enough to connect the frags. Imperial going to shut down Infused from getting their 18th. No clean sweep in this first set of OT.
Working their way through. 2 rounds needed to close out the game for Infused. Imperial, if they can try and work their way through, there is still a lot on the line. Triple or setup coming out.
This is funky.
The thing is though, if they actually do get beaten in this, they can break their economy. They've invested a lot into it already with that triple up setup. There is potential to actually ruin their economy in OT.
That's risky, is what that translates to. Well, that seems to be the aim of the game of Imperial, right? For making risky plays. That sums up their first half anyway. Flash here and there, a greeting party. The cluster that is Infused just bombed up towards the halls of B. So they're getting themselves ready to pop down through both higher or lower. But are they going to stick towards it? Because you can see that kind of presence being taken by Shaney now with the AWP. Playing that in a flanking role instead of an entry role seems like a very interesting choice in itself, and it makes me feel like we are just going to see potentially a quick pop dog rush if Shady can make it work. Off the back of him falling to Wendansky though, that's where the change comes in. That's where we know it's now more than likely going to be that B push after all.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. Not too fantastic there, really. As you get that first frag on the board, there is always potential for Imperial to close this one out, especially when Dansky does stuff like that. Frag on towards Dream, Pickles with the trade back though on towards Reason. Sure, that's a good bomb site, but they are outnumbered.
Gonna tap on through another smoke to go down, another flash to be popped, a blinding affair. Boaster still landing shots with the AWP, a blinding one on towards Aussie. Cotter elevated angle to him, that's just another Shiki picks on out, but that's only one, and that doesn't save anything. Imperial, they're gonna tie us up in overtime.
These teams could try and close the game out here. If we see Imperial actually go through, collect these next 2 rounds, they can still do it.
Anything's possible, they say. You just gotta try. Just gotta hope. Bit of faith as well mixed in. We didn't believe in Imperial at all, bear in mind. We had no faith in them.
Especially not with this triple up setup coming into this. Very risky, but it's worked out fantastically. Obviously, we spoke about how highly this map is scope heavy. You can utilize those orbs in a lot of different positions, and we've seen that coming into effect.
Really has been able to do so much. Now we're going to see a bit of Ivy presence yet again, another angle that can be led dominant the hands of a well-trained scope. Shiki going to be looking for an opportunity over on towards his A site, but Jacob, he's there, he's ready, he's waiting, and he strikes. An opening frag for him. Bit by bit, it's looking better and better, but Pickles, he had to backstab Connor.
Pickles was waiting to try and go for the strike. Connor has that angle covered. But focusing towards mid main, you never know. Edges his way through. Doesn't matter. Jacob scopes in, spots him, takes him down. And Infused with just 3 members left at this point. Spread fairly thin. 2 stacked up towards Ivy. 1 starting to reposition. That'll be Aussie going back towards mid. This is going to be really hard for them to actually leak out. Especially when they don't clear the angle where Reason's just sitting ready to strike.
Predictable stuff, scripted stuff coming in from Infused there. They just get pulled apart now by Imperial, just quite literally turning into a bit of pulled pork almost. Because now for Imperial, 1917, this is it for them, all or nothing. They're searching for that 1917, and it's very, very possible.
You would imagine this is going to be where Imperial do actually shut things down. Over on train as Infused have just shown no signs of intuition.
A lot of time for them to work with, of course. But Infused showing no real opportunity of utilising that. They're trying to go fast. Opening first shot going to be missed by Wendansky. A bit of an awkward one, but either way, does allow time for these rifles to get close and personal. Set 9 in the making too. Connor going to go for a bit of a spray, but at least a lot of trading so far. Whether Rossi's going to make it work as well on towards Connor. This is a man advantage for them now. Wendansky holding tight with the AWP still. They find themselves back at equalization 3 versus 3.
3v3. 2 AWPs still in play for the side of Imperial. Reason very low as they start to roll through. Dream also only on 5 HP as they push their way into the site. They need to find these frags. Boaster will be the one to do so. Connection on towards Dream, that is massive, but the trade back quick from Shiki there. They have these angled covers and they're just going to be peeking out, finding the frags. Pickles to get the 2k. They take it into overtime 2.
Here we go again, back round the same old repetitive rodeo. This just doesn't stop. 18-18. Where does this end, Jackie?
I don't know. Hopefully this overtime. Triple AWP setup still in play from the side of Imperial.
Interesting stuff, and fair play to them, it's worked. I want to see some adaptations. Surely Infused is going to know what's coming. Surely they just played almost, what, God knows how many rounds against this. They should know.
Hopefully so. Boaster with a peek out though. Is he going to have the element of surprise? Goes to the shot, but no one's there. He's just shooting at thin air as he holds, hoping they are going to carry on their war path. Flashbang goes in, so he's allowed to go to the peak. Finds one off on towards Shiki, but isn't aware of the position of Dream. Nor will it matter as he's able to get out.
A first pick favouring Imperial. That's what counts in this situation. That's what's important. As they're still searching, they're still waiting. Ever so patiently. They don't need to force the hand of Infused. They don't need to make them go aggressive. They're feeling comfortable right now. They feel like they are the ones in charge.
Large in charge. On a barge.
Stuff and things. That's all that has to be said. Flash is going to pop. Trying to regain that one-man entry out on towards the B site, but that's in vain. That's useless, in fact, as Connor looking to spray them down. It's going to be a quick trade coming in from Aussie, but is that enough now in a 2 versus 4? Elevated angle. Jacob does have that AWP on towards Shaney, at least a bare minimum. Aussie still going, still fighting. But how much can this one-man swing before he's finally slain?
Tag coming through from Aussie, but it won't be a kill. Imperial can win that round. Still though, 2 more to occur. No triple AWP set up in play this time around. They will go for the 3 rifles, just keeping it to 2 AWPs. Meanwhile, Infused, you imagine we'll see the AWP on Shaney. It will come out. Where are they going to take this though? What are they going to bring to the table?
Have a lot of options, that has to be said. Jacob just holding ever so tightly around the edge of that green train, just making sure that if any quick push does come out, that he can acutely meet that with the end of his scope. Trying to find that first pick as always, so no real change. Ozzy has been really waking up for Infused, but we need to see something more. Can't just be him.
Push comes through towards B. Boaster will scope in. Trying to find the frag, but it's not going to go that way. Obviously, Shaney as well now. Down Pop Dog. Hungry to find something towards the A-bomb site. Hungry Hippos. Windansky is there, scoped in with his rifle, ready to reign supreme if the peak comes through. Obviously, Shaney should find that frag, but there could be potential for the quick trade back. As it's slow stuff once again for either side here. Ivy control has been taken though. Ozzy actually gets away with the kill.
Yeah, Ozzy making it work yet again in the important, ever so crucial trade frags. He's going to be a very important player of Windansky, though, that could change this round completely. He's right behind him. He could pop off here, aided by Reason, of course, as well. Windansky going to find himself his first. Shiki going to pop off at least and find a return frag, though, bring it back to what is an ever so close. Could have been 2v2, but instead, 3 versus 0. The Dream and Ozzy, they drop the hammer.
$19-19. Obviously, this is the thing. Both these teams right now looking so evenly matched, which is very weird, because it just seems like Infused keep having these weird moments where it's not even that they're playing explicitly well, it's more Imperial allow them to just win a round out of nowhere, or can't actually close things down. It's very odd.
Sometimes, though, something odd is all it takes. It works. Jacob gonna find himself the same old opening frag. How many times on train have we seen him be able to make that work down Ivy? Connor, another for him. Boaster picking off Pickles, making it almost seem easy as ever to find this round. Shiki, the one man to get a pick for Infused.
Oh, he actually doubles it up as well. Will claim the headshot off on towards Boaster and gets out of there, but he's so low. 16 HP on the board. You'd imagine if he even tries to go for another frag, he should be picked off on his approach towards what seems like through Ivy over towards A.
50 seconds for Shiki to play with. Of course, a man who could make this one work, and the guy you want in these scenarios. He's an incredible clutch player when you need him to be, but it's not consistent. Does have utility, bear in mind. The smoke, Molotov, frag grenade, Tech 9. It's not like he's really got the full package. The only thing he lacks is that HP. But he also has the brain, perhaps the biggest of tools. Checks these angles, trying to get an idea, a read of the situation. But he's got to get a plant, because that clock is going to run on out of him now. 15 seconds or so. Still no info, no idea. The one curveball is going to be Reasoning Connector.
Hoping to go for the peak. Has to commit for the plant now. We'll get the plant down just in the nick of time. Those 4 seconds being utilised. Bomb will go down. But so did he. As the pistol comes through from Jacob.
Another round. Another situation. But who takes the win? That's what I want to ask you right now. Where are we going with this? Is this the end in overtime too?
I don't know. This matchup looks so evenly matched all of a sudden at the end of this that it feels like it could go on forever. As they keep having moments where Imperial lock it down for 2 rounds, then they slip up for 1, then they get themselves into a situation where they'll be 1 round away from closing it out, and they just can't find it.
Tough stuff. But reality surely sets in, which is that Imperial know this is really important for them. They want to deny, if anything, the points are Infused. That's their role in this now, just to deny that. The points for themselves, they aren't all that valuable anymore. So big different picture. Ozzy gonna hold close towards that B site. He's the one-man anchor. No real big presence being guarded from Imperial though. They are just playing this one ever so slow, fairly standard as well, just getting themselves spread in a bit of a default. Looking to see, okay, where can we push the buttons of Infused this time around? Who is going to screw up and give us that advantage?
Yeah, who will make the opening move, the first mistake? As right now, they are just once again playing this slow style of CS, just holding their angles, getting ready for the explosion towards the A-bomb site, taking that pop dog control, hoping to overwhelm Infused defense.
Ozzy and Co still just lurching in the shadows over at B, but the presence, the action, the big party It's all over at this A site currently. Pop Dog being a big part of this map right now. Got 2 players already out to electric. That being Connor and Jacob. Reason is going to join them now in this one. Finds the initial duel on towards Pickles. Dream is going to respond with a nice quick trade, but Jacob bats back on towards Dream with the AWP, leaving Reason to get that bomb down. Now Shaney to at least try and respond. Shiki, the elevated angle was all well and good. But it's also meaningless when you've got Connor standing right below you, doing so much damage, knows exactly where you're standing. Shiki still standing by just holding on a ladder. Absolute madness.
Ozzy peeks in. Can't find anything though. Gets taken down. 21 rounds on the board. 1 round away from closing it out. Imperial, can they do it? Infused. The buyer will come back through. Once again though, obviously they still had an abundance of money to play with. It won't be them breaking their economy anytime soon. Bubble Orb setup comes out. Dream and Shaney. Could be a spanner in the works. Could be something they're not prepared for as the aggression comes through. Dream taking his AWP over to Ivy. Meanwhile, Shaney just going to be watching by mid-connector.
Pretty much an identical idea from Imperial. They just want to send out those probes, work out what is going on, see if they can get the knowledge of that double up setup before they lose so many men on this push out towards A, if they so choose it. Of course, you know, pushing out towards Pop Dog could end up fairly well for them. Pickles nearly giving himself up as a first offering here, and that is nearly the case, but no, he turns the tides, wins the battle on Boaster, makes a much better picture for the CT side. Silence, rather an apt tool at this point in terms of summing up these 2 teams at this portion of the round, because they just spend so long clearing out these angles, so long setting themselves up, almost dependence on having that clock ever so low. The execute. He's going to roll on through. Dream pops off, finds himself one, that opening frag for himself. Reason finds the tap back in return though, so at least a little healthy trade. But bear in mind, Infused, they still hold the advantage.
Cheeky will drop down trying to find the frags, but it's not really working out that way. It is a 3 versus 3 potential for Imperial to close the game out here now, as they're starting to worm their way around. Fantastic headshot comes up from Windansky there, but Ozzy with a quick trade back lands the shot off on towards Connor. Flashbang through, as you can see, he's waiting for his teammate for the right time to strike. They need to exit together. Reason has the angle covered though. Simply should find the headshot as he brushes past. Will do so, and it's just Shaney left. AWP in hand. What can Shaney actually achieve? Panicking as he needs to push over, try and get on the bomb. Won't happen. I don't know about you, but Imperial are feeling 22.
Yeah, they're going to be happy as anything about that. They're starting to really feel like they're getting on a bit. They've grown up. Can't quite party the nights away anymore. But, if anything, that maturity, well, it's going to help them out in this one.
There was a Taylor Swift song.
I know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you I didn't know if, yeah. You weren't really deep.
Huh?
You weren't really deep with
Playing
it.
off the back of it, dude, you know?
Sorry, man.
Just gotta go full deep. You love it deep, dude. What can I say?
I don't know.